I wish I was heroic like a lot of people. I'm not heroic, by the way. I'm a very selfish motherfucker. I'm sitting there driving down this road, and this pink ass Pepto Bismol Buick fucking cuts me off, speeds around me, and I'm thinking, what a jackass. But shortly after, it loses control of its car and just into a telephone pole. The thing falls on it, and sparks fly. I'm like, holy shit. And, I don't know, probably, I would think like most people would be like, oh my God, I have to help him. I hope they're okay. And like, jump into action. Uh, I'm not that guy. My thoughts were, that's what you get. And I drove about my way. I know that's terrible. But what are you gonna do? What am I gonna? Anyways, another example. I used to be a security guard. I get off work. Me and this little young white chick named Mackenzie, and she was like in her 20s. She's like short. She had glasses, short haircut. She's like, she had spunk. So we're all getting off of work, going to the parking lot to get to our cars, and we noticed this tweaker. There's this young chick. She's like tweaking out, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's keep going. Don't just pretend you don't see her. Mackenzie's like, oh my God, we gotta help her. I'm like, no, let's not. And she's like, you okay? She's like rubbing on her face. You okay? Excuse me, we need to help you. I'm like, all right, so I can't just leave Mackenzie there. So I'm just like in the back, like, yeah, we gotta help. Looking around, keeping the distance because I don't want to get stabbed with any sharp substances. So long story short, Mackenzie calls police, and they help her, give her whatever she needed or whatever. And then the cops are like, "Oh my God, thank God, y'all, you guys helped her." I'm like, "Yeah, this totally was my idea." All right, I'm gonna go now. Yeah, felt like a bit of a jackass on that one. Now, next story. This is a very similar story on the same thing. This chick I was dating, I'm sitting there riding passenger princess while she's driving down the street. I'm chilling. We're going to get burgers, and I noticed this guy laying in the middle of the road, black bald dude. It looked like he was just like tweaking out again. I'm like, look at that druggie over there. Am I right, babe? She's like, where? My God, she like pops U-turn. I'm like, hey, well, no, we got to get those burgers. But she pulls up. She's like, no, we have to help him. And she runs. She's like, are you okay? My God, cops. And conveniently, just so I'm not fucking making this up. Cops just happen to be fucking driving by, and whoop whoop, they pull up. Oh my God, and they help him, get him a towel, cool him off. Turns out he's just an old man that had a heat stroke and was laying in the street. So I was like, oh well. The cops are like, thank God you guys were there to spring into action. You guys are heroes. I'm like, well, I don't know. I just saw him. I just had to save him. Once again, I feel like a jackass. It was our car ride. Oh, but that's just me. I'm sure, like I said, I'm just not the hero guy.